Coming up, a rare Roman cavalry helmet on display with stunning reconstruction. Forgotten ancient landscapes submerged underwater. And the unearthing of a grand medieval chateau. Welcome to Time Team News, your monthly dose of archaeology news and discoveries from Britain and across the globe. And welcome back to the Find Shed. Well, it's been another busy month. I've just returned from Modbury, more on that coming up shortly. And do stick with us to the end because we've got some exciting news of a brand new upcoming Time Team episode, an Iron Age site in Dorset. So let's get started. First up, a story that takes us right back to the Roman conquest of Britain. An incredibly rare 2,000-year-old Roman auxiliary cavalry helmet has been put on display in Leicestershire alongside associated finds and replicas. The helmet was originally found back in the year 2000 following the discovery of a silver ear by the Hallerton Fieldwork Group. The helmet has an interesting reconstruction story. When it was first discovered, it was heavily corroded and broken into many tiny fragments. So archaeologists block lifted it from the ground and encased it in plaster so it could be excavated back in the lab. It was then painstakingly reassembled like an intricate 3D jigsaw puzzle. The helmet underwent an incredible 9-year conservation programme at the British Museum, revealing decorative motifs of animals and human figures steeped in classical symbolism. It's an example of beautifully sophisticated metalwork made of sheet iron with silver gilt and gold leaf details. Now, new reconstructions have highlighted what the helmet would have likely looked like in its original glory. Rajesh Gogna, a lecturer at De Montfort University, combined traditional silversmithing skills with ultra-modern CAD and 3D printing to bring it back to life.
So I chose to do this project because my research at the university entails a lot of research around technology and how handcraft processes work together historically and in a contemporary way. This project has challenged me to explore the technology in more depth and also bring the metallizing process to the forefront for other researchers and graduates and students to take on board in their design practice. So my involvement in the project comes at a stage where all of the research prior to this by archaeologists and researchers is brought together into one format, and I've been able to convert that into a 3-dimensional print. And then we've been able to take it into the metal process. Reflecting on the original helmet which was found, it seemed like there was at least 3 craftspeople making different stages of the helmet. One would have made the bowl section, the other would have made the internal section, and another would have made the outer section and the motifs which were perhaps cast and repoussed. And I really like the fact that it's going to be seen in the museums by youngsters who can look back at 2,000 years of history and reflect on this amazing piece of artwork.
Meanwhile, Rome-based archaeologist Francesco Galluccio made another replica using more traditional techniques. Helmets like these were worn during elaborate cavalry displays known as hippica gymnasia and were designed to awe and impress. You can see examples of this in the Time Team episode Fighting on the Frontier from Series 12, which is available to watch now on the Classics channel. See the link in the description box below. And the original Hallerton helmet and its replicas can now be seen at Harborough Museum in Leicestershire, and it's well worth checking out. Since last month, we've had the release of our latest excavation, a community archaeology project in the heart of Devon's South Hams. Working with the people of Modbury, we traced everything from Civil War skirmishes through to the ancestral history of American hat makers, the Stetsons. We also considered the prehistoric origins of the settlement and a bit of modern archaeology here. We even reunited a long-lost toy soldier with its owner. Modbury Memorial Hall served as our headquarters during the excavations, and so it only seemed fitting that we returned there for the episode's world premiere. Tim Taylor and I were delighted to return to Modbury to join with local residents for a very special screening.
Now is the month of May, when with merry lads are playing. La 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 la, la 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 la. Oh yay! Midburn Modburyans, Time Team Tellers, it is an honour for me to welcome you to this event here in the Modbury Memorial Hall.
It's an amazing turnout on a pretty horrendous afternoon of all this rain. So yeah, there's a lot of interest here tonight.
Everyone's really excited. Yeah, it's really good.
So, without further ado, it's an absolute honour to be able to introduce to you this evening Tim Taylor, who is the series producer.
This is just the start. I think Modbury is a fascinating town and there's a lot more to be done. So anybody who's got a nice garden out there, just be aware that we're going to be coming to visit you, so don't mow your grass too neatly. It's surprising what those test pits can produce, and it was a joy to see the engagement of young people in those test pits. And if you can find one or two people who are interested and say, how do we carry this on? We'll try and help you if we can. So thank you very much, Modbury. You are a great community, and keep it going, and I hope you enjoy the film. Thank you.
On the Priory, yes, well, that kind of disappeared completely. So we've got test pits for that, but we also want to have a look at the stand.
Without you guys, without the community of Modbury, none of this would have happened. So I'd really love it if you could give yourselves all a round of applause because you've been amazing. Thank you.
That's brilliant, and I have to say I've been researching the champions for so long. I never once dreamt I would actually walk within the walls and they would.
Well, that was a lot of fun and great to see the community continuing to celebrate their fascinating heritage. There's been a lot of love in the comments section for buildings archaeologist Dr. Richard Parker.
It's a spanker. It really is a spanker.
So this
it's absolutely delicious. Ooh, exquisite and niminy piminy. You cheeky brute.
Richard and I have worked together on many occasions over the years, including a visit to Higher Uppercut, a 14th century longhouse situated on Dartmoor National Park.
Come along.
We visited Higher Uppercut in order to find out more about a collaborative project between Dartmoor National Park Authority and the University of Plymouth. The project, devised by Dr. Dan Maudlin and Emma Stockley, brought together staff and students from different disciplines. So, for example, students studying heritage, theory and practice shared their knowledge and understanding of Higher Uppercut with students studying game design, who then went on to 3D scan the building in order to turn it into an interactive virtual game. A while ago, I visited the 360 immersive cinema dome at the Market Hall in Plymouth, where the scans of Higher Uppercut were projected all around onto the screens, and it was as if you were at Higher Uppercut itself.
It's been interesting finding heritage students interested in working in digital and a design student who's interested in working with historic sites and heritage, and then sort of putting them together and seeing what comes out of it.
It's amazing and what you can get when people collaborate from different subjects. It's just a wonderful example, isn't it?
It's exciting because it's a collision of two worlds, the world of heritage and archaeology and historic buildings, and then this sort of high-tech world of computer games and developing and virtual reality. So for me, it's super exciting, and I'm just so thrilled to see it come to fruition. And, you know, this is the result, and it's just wonderful.
I also caught up with Dartmoor National Park authorities Andy Bailey in order to find out more about the wonders of Dartmoor.
What we're really keen to do is to help people make that connection with the moor and discover that landscape, and then, you know, they'll become champions of it and they'll help us conserve it better into the future.
Absolutely, because it is an amazing space, isn't it?
It's incredible, 368 square miles, this incredible upland, moorland landscape. It's fantastic for nature, but also it's one of those premier archaeological landscapes as well. You can sort of be walking across the moors and be stepping right back in time, meeting our Bronze Age ancestors as you found an old hut or an ancient monument like a stone row. So you get a real flavour of lots of different periods of time.
Stuart Ainsworth would call it a palimpsest, an archaeological palimpsest, this landscape.
As we've seen, Dartmoor has thousands of years of archaeology, so if you'd like to learn more about it, please let us know in the comments section below. Last month, we asked you what you thought about a regular book of the month, and the answer was a resounding yes. So it's back, and this month we've got a fantastic title lined up for you. It's Doggerland, The Lost World Under the North Sea by Luc Amkreutz and Sacha van der Vaart Verschoof. Doggerland was the worthy winner of the Current Archaeology's 2024 Book of the Year. It faced off some stiff competition, so we thought we'd better take a closer look. Doggerland is an extraordinary story of an ancient world in the North Sea, submerged under shallow waters between the coastlines of Britain, the Netherlands and Denmark. Doggerland was a vast area of dry, fertile land crossed by major rivers, inhabited by huge animals and early humans. It's a story of almost 1 million years of human occupation, a rich tapestry of early hominid footprints, Neanderthals hunting woolly mammoths and rhinos, of the first modern humans in Europe making complex tools and art, of hunter-gatherers adapting to climate change and rising sea levels, and the mother of all tsunamis that put that world beneath the waves. We caught up with Professor Luc Amkreutz from the National Museum of Antiquities in the Netherlands and asked what we might expect to find in the book.
Okay, so this is the book. This is the English version of the Doggerland book, and what's in it is actually the most complete introduction for a bigger public audience by scientists of what we have discovered over the past year. So it tells you a bit about, in different parts, about the history of Doggerland, the earliest inhabitants, so really the pioneers that lived there, which actually were on the coast of Haysbro, where we have the oldest footprints in Europe, and then we enter the land of the Neanderthals. And the thousands of years they inhabited this area. You know, if you want to learn more about this landscape, which is in front of our coast, which is just a shallow sea, but was in the sea for most of the past million years, it's a good introduction, and it's also free to read online. So everybody should have access.
And what was it that drew you to studying this lost world under the North Sea?
Our museum has also for decades been involved in documenting the finds that come from Doggerland. So it was already on my list, and we had a small working group with which we sought out actually new people that discovered things on the beaches or in the fishing nets. And from that actually sprang the idea, there is so much now, including the finds that came from the UK, wouldn't be interesting to do an exhibition on it. Especially since I work in a museum, that seems like a logical thing to do. So we got it into the schedule, and then that became a major thing. And we had the exhibition in 21, and it's still traveling the country now. So it's been to 5 or 6 smaller museums, and everywhere people like it. apparently it's a topic that lands really well with a bigger audience. It has the same allure of an area, a landscape which is lost, which you can't get to. And of course, we are dealing with mobile hunter-gatherer communities, but we're also dealing with almost a million years of human habitation in an area which at its largest was 300,000 square kilometers. So it's huge. It's like this huge piece of the puzzle in Europe, which is missing from our history books. It's in the center of Europe, and we know hardly anything about it. We're just scratching the surface right now, which is really exciting. But I hope to create more awareness for this.
It's great that you've made this book available online for free so it can be accessed by a wider audience.
Everybody should be able to, to take in new discoveries and to at least online, but sometimes also through downloads, be able to have access to the full material. So that is important to us as a museum, because we also think it's a collection. It's also information. It's also science that is, it is done with public money, so it should also be available to a wider audience. So yeah, that is very much what we believe in. Yeah.
The book is published by Sidestone Press and is available in bookshops now. It's also, as mentioned, available online, following the link in the description box below. And if you'd like to find out more about this lost prehistoric landscape, then check out the Time Team Classics special, Britain's Stone Age Tsunami, coming soon on Patreon. It's not every day that you get to excavate a medieval chateau. A 14th century castle has been rediscovered in the courtyard of a former hotel in Brittany, France. The Chateau in Vannes was once the seat of John IV, the Duke of Brittany. Since 2023, the French National Institute of Preventive Archaeological Research has been excavating beneath the courtyard and has revealed in situ walls and beautifully crafted masonry, including grand stairways and door openings. Even parts of the wooden bridge have been preserved within the moat. Together, these elements reveal an imposing yet luxurious castle fit for a duke. As well as the structure itself, archaeologists have uncovered an array of wonderful finds. These include glazed floor tiles, keys, stunning pottery, and an unusual padlock, with many finds retrieved from the silted up moat. Through the excavations, archaeologists have pieced together a plan of the moated castle. Unlike most castles, which have typically been added to and altered over many generations, this castle is unusual in that it appears to have been made in one phase. This demonstrates the command that the Duke of Brittany must have had, including access to the finest craftspeople and engineers. And finally, if you can't wait for the next new Time Team episode, the good news is that you don't have much longer to wait, because the 3-part dig will be released in May. Coming soon, the team head to an intriguing Iron Age site in the shadow of Corfe Castle in Dorset, and it's a stunning location. This was a particularly special shoot as it marked Time Team's 30th anniversary. And it was a fun one personally for me too, because Derek and Lawrence were site directors on this excavation and I stepped in to present Digwatch, and that coverage is already available now on Patreon.
Welcome to Digwatch!
Once again, the episode will play right here on YouTube in a 3-part premiere, and as always, our Patreon viewers will be treated to an exclusive preview of day 1. Full release details are due out soon, so please keep a lookout. Well, that's it until next month. As usual, all the 3D models featured in this month's episode are available over on Patreon, along with extended interviews and much more. But what would you like to see featured in future episodes? Do let us know in the comments section below. So thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe and press the notification bell to receive all the latest updates. Well, that's all from me for now, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Join Time Team on Patreon to access exclusive 3D models, masterclasses and behind-the-scenes insights.